How's it? So we're going to do PowerPoint today. You have to know PowerPoint. You're going to use PowerPoint in high school. You probably already use it in middle school and elementary. You're going to use it in college and so on. Even with you get a job, business presentations and whatnot, you're going to use PowerPoint. But not just any PowerPoint. You need to know advanced PowerPoint, good PowerPoint, some of the really good tools that they have available so you don't make gaudy PowerPoints that are very standard. First of all, open PowerPoint, hit Command N to open up a new presentation. There's two views here, slides and outline on the left side here. Um, Also on the view side, there's normal view, slide sort of view, and slideshow. And I'll show you those more in a minute. What we're going to do is you're going to make a short slideshow telling more about yourself. And so let's get started. First of all, I like to, you can make this bigger or smaller. I like to make it smaller because I don't really need to see this icon too much. What you can do also is zoom in here. If you want it to be 100% or 50%, you can choose. But let's get started with our template theme. So what I want you to first do is you should have this bar here, or you can go to Format and Slide Theme, and you can choose from File. If you choose from File, you can actually go to Microsoft.com and download a bunch of cool templates, but we're just going to use the gallery, and you've probably seen most of these before, but just go ahead and choose one that fits your fancy, and I'm going to show you how to edit these now. Now, first of all, after you choose your template, you want to customize the colors that you want. And if you don't want this one, you can go back to your slide theme and change it at any time if you're feeling fickle. So if you go under Format and you go to Theme Colors, you can go in here and change your colors. So if I don't want it to be dark, this brown here, I can change it to maybe green, and then hit OK. And then if I don't want the accents to be certain colors, I can change those as well. And then I hit Apply to All, and then notice it changes it. So what I want you to do is choose one and make sure you customize the color so it doesn't look like the normal template color. Okay. So next, what we're going to do is you're going to go under View Master, Slide Master. The Slide Master is important. This is like the template, the way that organizes all of your slides. Okay, it's like one general format. For example, here we have a certain text font. Okay, now if we want to change our font in our slideshow, we don't have to do that in every slide. You just have to change it once in the Slide Master. So go ahead and choose what kind of font that you would like for your slideshow. And then after you've chosen a font that you're in the mood for, I'm in the mood for some, let's go with Blair. So after you're done with that, you can also change your font styles for your bullets. Okay? So go ahead and choose your font style for this. If you don't want this bullet, and you shouldn't, because remember we don't want the default things all the time, go to Format, Bullets and Numbering, and go ahead and change the first bullet to something else. Remember, you can do a customized bullet, and that's what I want you to do because this is also less known. And also change the color of our first part right here. I'm going to change that to blue. And again, I'm doing this from the Format palette, which is right in your toolbox, right up in there. Okay? Now, this is like a normal slide. Of course, we have our title slide. So if we click down on the left side, we have a title slide. So we can also change this format if we want, and also other formats. So if you have this style, you can change this layout as well when you have a new slide. But generally, most people choose this kind of layout. So I'm just going to hit OK. And so when you're done with fixing up your master slide, you're going to hit Close. But we're not done with it yet, because what we're going to do is we're going to insert a picture on the bottom right of our slide, because we're going to be like, you're the author of this slide. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is grab a picture. I'm going to throw in this picture right here. Okay. And with your picture, try to make it a square. Just crop it out, make it a small screenshot. Uh, and then, like, if you had a part of you that you wanted to crop out, just you can use this crop button right here, and then you can hit that and crop it. But I found my picture, so I'm going to go ahead, scale it down so it's kind of small, and it's on the bottom right. Okay. Now, notice it says footer and the date. I'm actually going to click on this footer part down here. I'm going to change that. I'm going to put the date over here. So basically the footer is going to go right next to my picture on the right, and then my date's going to go underneath the footer. Notice how it's left aligned? I'm going to highlight that, hit Command R, and right align that right beneath the footer, and make sure the footer is right aligned as well. Okay, and notice my page number is wherever yours is, which is fine. So now I'm done with my master. So in the top left, I'm going to hit close master, and so notice if I hit Command Shift N on a Mac, notice there's my picture, but notice you don't see the date or the footer. Well, we have to add that. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to View, and then you're going to go to Header Footer. And in our header footer, we're going to add the date and time, and we're going to do a fixed time, not automatically. It's automatically, you open it up tomorrow, it's going to show tomorrow's date. We don't want that. So let's just put in a date, February, I don't know, 21, 2011. And then go ahead and click on slide number because we want to show the slide number, but we don't want slide numbers on the title page. That would be ridiculous. So click on don't show that. And then I'm going to click on this footer. Remember that little footer bar that we saw? And actually it shows us an example of where it's located on our slide. We're going to put created by and then your name. Okay, and I'm going to hit apply to all. You can also do it on notes and handouts if you're going to use that, but we're not going to at this point. So apply to all, and notice, boom, there it is, created by and your name. Okay, so now we have, and notice my cool font that I changed. Now my template is set up to go. Now I'm ready to add my information to it. Now again, if you ever want to change your slide theme, you can do it at any time you want. So I'm just going to like, hey, I'm going to change it right now. So when you change it though, you lose all that formatting you did. So maybe that's not a good idea for you, but I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to show you again. Go to View, Master, Slide Master if you want to rearrange things. And notice I'm going to take my name and put it there. I'm going to put the date and put it underneath it. And then here's the text, and I can change my text style to be a different text. And now I'm thinking I'll do 1942 report. And I'll make that a little bit smaller so it fits a little bit better. Okay, and again, you would change your other things that I did before. Now I can close my master. Now in the first slide, what we're going to do is we're actually going to have a black background. Okay, so what you're going to do is format, slide background, and choose color. And we're going to choose, if it's automatic, it's going to be the template color, but we're going to choose black. So go ahead and choose black, and not apply to all because that would be all the slides. We just want the front cover to be black. And I'm going to hit OK. Okay, and next I'm going to put in a cool little description font. Now you're kind of limited in the fonts that you have. You can download fonts on your computer and install them, but to save time, we're just going to go to a website like dafont, dafont.com, which I've already opened up. And what you'll do is you click on one of the fonts that you like and that may fit your PowerPoint. And then once you click on the font that you like I clicked on Quid Pro Quo, you can type your text in here. And what I want you to put in is the life of and then your name. Okay? And go ahead and hit large. And then hit submit. And what it's going to do is it's going to spit out sample text, and then what you can do is hit Command Shift 4, take a screenshot of that text that it's shown to you. So what that would look like is this. So you would screenshot it, and then you would put it onto your board. Okay, so there we go. The life of Mr. Heil. I'm going to put that at the top left. Now what you're going to do is we're going to show how we've grown throughout the years. So go ahead and find 5 pictures. One from when you're a baby, and then one from when like currently, and then you're going to bridge that gap throughout this slide. So I've already prepared some photos here, so I'm just going to go into my photos that I've taken and choose some of my baby pictures. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go ahead, and all you have to do is highlight all of them and then just drag them right into PowerPoint. And make sure they're like square. Make sure when you take screenshots of your pictures, they're like squarish and they're all about the same size. And then you can resize it. Put your youngest baby picture in the bottom left, okay? And then my second one is here, so I'm going to go ahead and put that one in, and that one in, and that one in, and then that one. Okay, so this was my second one. Go ahead and make sure you're resizing it only on the corner, okay? Because you don't want to mess things up. We don't need this text box, so we're going to delete these text boxes that were there by default. You're going to put your most recent picture in the top right corner and try to make them somewhat similar to in size. And if you mess up, you can easily just go back and resize. Now notice when I took a screenshot, that's not really squarish. I can just go here to my format palette, hit crop, and I can crop off some of that so it's more squarish looking. So now I'm good. So now I can go to this one, and I can do that one as well. And notice that I haven't been doing very good on making them about the right sizes. So there's a shortcut that I can do to fix that so I don't have to go into all of them. So what I can do is match them all up about the right size. Okay, and then click on one picture, hold down the shift key, and click on the other pictures while holding down the shift key. Then control click on the pictures, and you're going to hit grouping and then group. And now it's one group, and you can resize them at the corner holding down the shift key, and so they all go together for that. So notice they all resize in the same way. Okay, so I'm going to actually move this over a little bit, and there we go. If you want to ungroup them, just click on the picture, control click, and then you can grouping ungroup if you, just in case you need to move any. Okay, so just make it like a staircase. Now for the life of your name, let's go ahead and do that. But just make sure this one is in the bottom left, and then this one is about halfway. This is about halfway. It's about halfway. It's about halfway. Something like that. Yeah. All right, and then I'm gonna resize them so they fit a little bit better. After you group them. There we go. That's how it should look. So for the life of Mr. Heil, see this extra part? We want to make sure it expands. Okay. So to do that, we can actually do it in an easier way. Just insert shape, and then we're going to choose just a regular box. Okay. And then just go ahead and make a box that fills in the other part. Double click on the box, go to white fill, and then go to line and choose no line, hit OK, control click on that little box and go to arrange and send to back. That way you won't see that line overlapping. You may see a little bit of a line, but it's okay. What you can do is you can just extend that over it, and then you won't see a line. So there we go. You got the life of Mr. Heil. And so in this bottom right part, we're going to insert another object. And that object, you can choose any object you want. You choose whatever, but don't choose a square. Be creative if you want. I'm going to do this thing. Okay, so go ahead and add that. And what I'm going to do is, see this yellow button, you can actually click that and move it and make it thinner or longer, and you can customize it the way you want it to be. You can also rotate it with that green bar if you want to do that, which I will do. Okay, and we don't need that picture on the bottom right, so we can just go ahead and cover that up. So in this shape, we're going to control click and we're going to hit edit text. And notice that it's sideways, okay, which it can't be unless you want to read it like this. So you can just go ahead and reshape that if you want. Okay, now in this part here, we're going to put some descriptions, just some basic descriptions about yourself. So you can put like birth and then like where you were born. So if you were born in Steubenville, Ohio, USA, then that's great. Then hit enter. Then hit DOB, date of birth, and then put when you were born. And then you're going to put like your background or your ethnicity. And I am like my great grandparents, Norwegian, and my dad's great parents were German. So that's my ethnicity. And then languages. Go ahead and put what languages you fluently or somewhat fluently speak. Okay, and for me, English. I know Spanish and Thai pretty well, but not enough to claim it. Make it a little bit wider so there's not so many lines, so it all fits onto one line. If it doesn't fit onto one line, just make the text smaller for each row, and then you can like resize it accordingly to what you want. Double click on the shape and you can change the color to whatever you want to kind of match the mood that you're looking for. So you can change either one. Okay, so now we got our title slide finished. Let's go on to our next slide. Now our next slide, we're going to introduce like our family. So go ahead and insert. We're going to go to Format, Slide Background, and you see Picture. We're going to choose Picture, and we're going to say Choose Picture. And then go to wherever you saved your picture, and then you're going to insert that. And notice it inserted it. And what you're going to do is change your transparency a little bit, because if you have it like this, notice how it's really hard to see the text. It's not really good. So change the transparency kind of light so you can see the text a little bit better, but still able to see the photo. Okay. And then if you click on your photo, you can crop if you want. You can do the brightness or the contrast. So go ahead and adjust it accordingly. If you have some bad lighting in there, if you want some more contrast to see it a little bit. If you want to crop it off some, you could crop it, but don't need to. And then I'm going to hit apply. If you hit apply to all, it's going to go to all the slides, which we don't want. So for the title, I'm going to put in my family. And notice how it's right over our heads. So you can change the where it's at if you want. And then for the text, if you're doing like reports and different slideshows for school, this is a great way to have a background slide. And then you can add text, to this. And if you double click on that text box, you can actually fill it like with a color. And then you can change that transparency up here so that you can see it a little bit better. So that's one thing that you could do. So yeah, go ahead and do that. I'm going to change my transparency so it's a little bit easier to read. I'm going to do it a little bit dark, and then I'm going to change my text to light so it's really easy to see. The one thing when you're doing presentations is you really need to make sure that your text is easily seen. So you can go ahead and I'm going to choose a lighter color. So I'm going to choose white. And then what you're going to do is just go ahead and list the people in your family according to where they are. So I would type it out like Mrs. Heil, and then your name, then it's me, and then go ahead and just keep on listing it for this. When you're done listing out all your family members, you can move it down to the bottom. Then you can just leave that at the bottom, and then you're done with this slide. Go ahead and double click that box and do a line, and then choose a color that you want to outline it, and do the weight of it, and you can do it kind of thick so it looks a little bit more professional. You can also do some glow edges if you want to make it stand out, and then I'm going to hit OK, and so then I'm done with that slide. Although make sure you have all your family members listed. Okay, Command Shift N is the new slide, and we're going. Now we're going to make our family tree. So if you notice the format, you see the structure here, Insert Smart Art. We're going to do that. It's also up here if you want to insert a Smart Art graphic. What we're going to choose is, you see all these lists here. There's a lot of great ways to like present your information or data, you know. If you're giving a report or showing diagrams, people don't want to see just a bunch of bullets and text. They want to see like diagrams and photos and pictures. So what you're going to do is choose the, let's go hierarchy, and then choose the first organizational chart. And we're going to insert that organizational chart right here. Now you have this little text pane, and from this we're going to put your mom and dad's name. So my mom and dad's name is Ken and Dee. Okay, and we'll put Heil. Now for my text one, this first one, I don't need this text box, so I'm actually going to hit the minus sign to get rid of that. So next I'm going to put, I'm the oldest, so I'm going to put me in there. And then my sister is the next one. And then my brother. And that's Scott. Okay? If you don't have 3, you can minus it. If you have more, you can plus it to make more. But that's basically how you can make your organizational structure and a diagram. Now what we're going to do is you're going to put a picture for each of like Mark, Angie, Scott. So double click on Mark, and then you're going to go to Fill Picture, and then choose Picture, and then go ahead and put in a picture that you have. And make sure it's like it's just a small square is fine. So that's fine. And then I'm going to like hit OK, and I'm going to resize it so it's a square and it fits. So now I'm going to do that for Angie. Picture, choose picture, and go find that picture that I have. And there she is. Insert, OK, resize as a square. Now Scott's turn. Double click Scott. Picture, choose picture, and let's go with, where is that guy? There's Scott. And I'm going to insert and resize it. Okay, so now if you want to change your text, like you can't really read it very well, just highlight the text and go over here and change the color. You can also change the size accordingly. So I'll let you decide on that. I don't like this red, so I'm going to double click on this red box, and I'm going to choose a lighter color maybe. Actually, no, that didn't work very well. Let's choose a darker color. Okay, so then I'm going to hit OK, and then it's pretty obvious this is my family tree. but I'm gonna put it anyway. Family tree, and I'm gonna click on this green arrow and I'm gonna flip it and I'm gonna move it to the left side. Okay, so just to be a little bit more creative, take the edge of your chart that you made, put in the top left, click on the bottom right, and go ahead and drag that to make it bigger so it fills up a little bit better. Okay, so if you don't like this box so big, you can resize that if you want. That looks a little bit better. And then there we go, you got your family tree. Now, go ahead and hit Command-Shift-N. We're going to make our next slide. And for this next slide, we're going to put our best friends. Okay? So, for our title, Best Friends. Now we're going to use our table. So you can either click on that icon, or you can click on Table here, or you can go to Insert Table. Okay? Your table is going to be, I think, around 4 across and 4 down. So 4 by 4. Now you have a lot of styles that come up here. You can choose a style that you want. In the first cell, you're going to put photo, hit tab. Then you're going to put name, hit tab. Then you're going to put where they live or location, hit tab. And then you're going to put unique. Okay? So go ahead and make your table a little bit bigger. And this heading, the first row doesn't need to be very big. So I'm going to resize that. Now for your photo, you're going to go ahead and drop in a photo of each of your friends. So first I'm going to name them so they know. So I'm going to put their names, David Whitney and Chris Rhodes and Scott Bird. Now I need photos of them. Make sure your photo cell is like a square. And again, we can resize this to make it bigger if we need to. But let's go ahead and put in our photos. So go in here. I'm going to put in, there's David, there's Chris, and there's Scott Bird. Okay. So go ahead, take your photos, resize them by holding down the Shift key in the corner. Try to get them as close as possible. They can go right up against each other. Make sure they're kind of squarish. And again, I took screenshots. So now I have photos of my friends. If they didn't fit here, all I have to do is bring down the table so it does fit. A little bit more. Okay. Yeah, that's good enough. So, David and Chris Rhodes and Scott Bird. Now make sure you resize it so that it fits the photo. And then notice the names. I'm going to move this so it fits right on those names. Okay? And then, and these friends can be from any time in your life. Okay? So location, put where you first met them. So if it was at, maybe you met, I met David, I met him at church. And Chris Rhodes, I met him in the car. And Scott Burr, I met him at school. Okay, so just put the location of where you met them. And then you're going to put what's unique about these guys. Okay? Oh, and by the way, you can put the church and then put like the location, like in parentheses of where it was. So this was in Texas. This was in Hawaii. And school was in Seoul. Now, what's unique about each of them? Well, David, I went a lot. We traveled the world together on mission trips. So travel the world. What's unique? Something unique that you did with together. That's what you're trying to think of. So Chris, we like to make videos together, make films. He went to USC Film School. So making films. That's like what we like to do together. Scott, we like to play basketball and work with technology. Those are some things we have in common. Now notice that the formats are not very even. We're going to highlight these cells, and you're going to go up to your format palette and see alignment and horizontal spacing. You're going to choose vertical middle. So notice, see how it switched down and it's in the middle now. Now what you're going to do is customize these lines. We want dashed lines. So go to your table in your format palette in your borders and shadings and change the color, okay, to a different color that you want. So for my color, I'm going to choose blue. And then your weight, choose a more thicker weight, and then choose like any of these dashes are fine, okay? And then you're going to go into your table and click on this draw table. And you're actually going to draw over the horizontal lines like that. Okay? And then you're going to go in and change your style. And again, you can change it to any style you want. Just make sure it's different. Change your color. And then you're going to draw vertical lines down. But don't mess up with the top location. Okay? And so we do that just so that you know that you could do that if you want. Next, what we're going to do is we want to highlight the friend that you have spent the most time with, like either that you know the most or who you're always hanging out with. Now, I've known David since high school. He's been the longest. So what you're going to do is insert, and you're going to choose shape. And with your shape, choose this second one, rounded square, rectangle. And you're actually going to put a right over your top friend. And then you're going to double click on that shape. Choose a really light color. I'm going to choose like yellow. And then change the transparency. I'm going to change it to right around maybe 78%, 75. Actually, I'm going to feel like I'm going to go a different color here. Maybe like a tint of a red. So now notice that it's kind of looks like it's highlighted. So that's one way that you can emphasize certain things in your presentations and whatnot. So if I was doing a presentation and I wanted that to appear, I could go to Slideshow and custom animation. And then in my custom animation, I could do add entrance effect, and I could hit fade, okay? And so during my presentation, notice it faded in. Okay, I'll do it one more time. I play it, there's nothing, and then I click, and then it fades in for the red. Okay, so that's one way you can emphasize certain things. You can also emphasize other effects, like if you want things to blink or wave or shimmer. So those are some other emphasizing effects. Okay, so now we got our best friends finished. So let's go ahead and make a new slide. Command-Shift-N. Okay, and this is probably the most challenging slide for you. What we're going to do is do some custom animation. We want to say wherever you have lived in your life. Okay, so let's just put in quotations, home, sweet home. Okay, and when it says click to add text, we're going to add the places that we've lived in. So I'm going to put Hawaii. Now, we want to put how many years you've lived in that state. So what you're going to do is to go to the right side of the text box, you're going to open up a ruler. Go to View and then Ruler. You can also, and then go to View, Guides, and then make sure Dynamic Guides are on. Okay, and then next, you'll notice in the top left, you'll see this. These are called your tabs. Now, right now, if we hit tab right now, it's just going to tab one space over. What we want to do is when we hit tab, we want it to go all the way over to the 6-inch mark. So what we're going to do is click on these tabs. That's center tab, that's left tab, and that's right tab. Center, left, this is one with a decimal, and this is right tab. So let's change it to left tab. And we're going to click on the 6 and notice that it added a tab right there. And then when I hit tab, you're going to put how many years you live there. Okay? So you're going to put, if you live there for 10 years, you just put 10. And then you hit enter, and then let's say you moved. And then you move to, let's say I move to Manama, Bahrain. Okay? If I hit tab, notice it tabbed all the way over, and I can put that again. So notice it's 1. Now you'll know that it's left aligned, right aligned, because notice that it's lined up right here. Hit enter. Next, I can go to like Bangkok, Thailand. Tab. Let's say I was there for 3 years or 2 years, and then we go to Seoul, Korea, and if we've been here 2 years. So that's how we can do our home sweet home. Now we're going to animate this slide because right now it looks kind of boring. Okay, so what I want you to do is search and find a photo of an airplane, but with a totally white background. So it could be a clip art, it could be a real plane, but it has to be total white background. So make sure you search white background when you do find that. When I searched, I did find a picture of an airplane, so I'm going to insert that guy in there. With your airplane, you don't want this white background. So open up your toolbox, and in your toolbox you have this cool tool under the first option, and it says transparent color. Okay, so you want to click on transparent color and click on the white area, and notice that all my white area is gone. Perfect. Now I'm going to resize it down, holding the shift key and resizing from the corner. And I'm going to take my plane and put it a little bit off to the side, top left, so it's right off the page, but I can still see it. Okay? So I'm going to have this plane that's going to be flying through, okay, my screen right here. So what I'm going to do on the bottom right is I'm going to build a house. Yes, build a house. It's very easy to do. All you have to do is go to Insert, Shape. Now you build a house starting with a square. So go ahead, click on the square, choose the color of your house. I hate red, so I'm not going to choose red. I'm going to choose this color. Okay. Now we need a roof. So we're going to go ahead and hit triangle. And then we can do a triangle roof. And it's red. Okay, if you want it to be red, we'll keep it red. So you can resize it accordingly. So now it's red. And we need a door so we can get in, right? That would probably be another rectangle. So I can draw my rectangle, make a little door so I can get in. And we have ourselves a little house. Okay. Now what we're going to do is this airplane is going to fly in, it's going to hit the roof, and the roof is going to fly off, and then we're going to pop out and then be screaming like, ah! So what I need you to do is go to take a camera or open up photo booth, take a picture of this. You have to have 2 hands, put them on your cheeks, and go, ah! So take that photo. After you got that photo, what you're going to do is you're going to find it, and you're going to, let me see if I can find that crazy photo. Here it is. So there's one I took in photo booth of me screaming. Okay, so with your format palette, you'll see crop. Go ahead and hit crop, and then you're going to crop off from the corners just your face and hands. So you only see your face and hands like that. Okay, so make sure you can see kind of like your wrist too. Alright, so now we have our crazy face. Click off of it, and we're going to scale it down so it's not so big. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to be a stick figure. If you go to View in toolbars, you'll see drawing. Go ahead and click on drawing. And then you'll have this little toolbar. Go ahead and click on the lines and go ahead and click on the last line. Looks like a loop-de-loop or scribble. And then you're going to draw try to draw a straight line and that's like your body. If you can't draw a straight line, I guess you can cheat and just use a straight line. So that's your body. Go ahead and do a hand. Okay, hit it again, do another hand, and then hit it again. And now we get our feet in there and do our other foot. Now with our hands, notice our hands are in the air like this. So what I want you to do is connect the arms to your hands. So it looks like you're really screaming. And make sure the neck is attached to your picture. Okay? So there we go. And make sure the image fits well. If it doesn't match up well, you can click on it and then resize it if you want. Okay? Now, we're going to treat this as one object. So go ahead and click on one of the lines, hold down the Shift key, and click on the other lines one by one. So we're selecting each of the objects. To deselect it, you just click it again. So notice I clicked on all of the objects. Okay? An easier way of doing that is you see this button right here on our drawing, select objects. You can click that, draw a square around just your body area, and then it selects it all, and then you can control click after you select them all and hit grouping and then group. So now I can move my guy and he can move around and do a little dance and all that fun stuff. Okay, so right now I'm going to be in the house, so stick him in the house. And he's going to be in the house, so control click on him, go to arrange, and hit send to back. So now he's back there. But before you deselect him, he's actually going to come up and pop out. So what I want you to do is, with him still selected, go to Slideshow, Custom Animation, and with your custom animation, you're going to add an effect and do Add Path Animation. And you're going to choose line. And basically what you're going to do is click on where your abdomen is and do it straight up to about the top of the roof. Okay? And then you can test it and then just make sure that you fly up out of the house. Okay? So what's going to happen is this airplane, so again we're going to click on the airplane, click on Add Path Animation, choose Scribble, and we're going to make this plane fly in. Now you can choose the flight path you want. You can make him go straight, you can make him go around, you can make him go around and here, and basically he needs to end up crashing into this your roof. Okay, so notice and boom, it hits your roof. Now make sure the airplane is in front of the roof. So you might want to click on the airplane, control click, arrange, bring to the front. Okay? So when he goes, he crashes right into that roof. Now if you crash into the roof, this roof is going to go crazy, right? So click on the roof. We're going to add an effect. You can add an exit effect. So you see you have exit, the red star, and then you can choose the one you want. So I'll let you choose how you want your roof to get rid of your roof. I'm going to choose spinner. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. Again, choose a different one, not mine. Be creative. Now after he hits a roof, let's add some little bit more effect. So maybe some sound effects. Maybe we want to hear like a sound of an airplane. To do that, you go on the internet and we can go to, let's go to partnersinrhythm.com. Partnersinrhythm.com. sorry, rhyme.com. And then on the left side, you'll see all these different sound effects that you can choose from. These are royalty free. You can use them. You can go to airplane sounds or wherever you want to go and choose any sound effect. And then what you do is you click on the one that you want. So if I want like a mosquito or a jet, you click on it. And then to download it, control click. And then you're going to hit save link as. Okay, save link as, and then download it. After you've downloaded it, you're going to go into your PowerPoint, go to Insert, Sound and Music, and then choose From File. And then from File, you're going to find where that audio, you put that, and then you're going to click on that sound clip you just had and go to Insert. Okay, and then choose Automatically. Now, what we're doing is we're only linking the file or that sound file with this PowerPoint file, okay? So one big thing that I see people always have problems with is like when they insert audio, or if they go to insert and they insert like a movie clip or a video they made, like they have their PowerPoint and then they'll put the PowerPoint on a USB flash drive, and then they'll take it, put it into a computer, and it doesn't work. And so the reason it doesn't work is it's linked. That file, that audio and video file, is linked to the PowerPoint. So the best thing to do is put it into one folder, a PowerPoint folder. You call it like My Presentation, and you have the project file like PowerPoint with all the other media files, and you keep them in the same folder. And then everything will work because everything is still linked. So don't separate the links. So now we have our groups here. So notice we have picture 6, group 24, that's our person. Now we have to arrange it accordingly to how it should be when he flies in and disrupts it. So first what we're going to do is the airplane should fly in, okay? And that's picture 6. So what we can do is go up on the arrow to move that up. Now we're going to choose on click, that's fine. When you click it, this whole thing is going to happen. You shouldn't have to like click every animation. So first the plane is going to fly in. Next, what should happen? Well, the airplane noise should be going on at the same time while this plane is flying. So go ahead and move him up, the airplane audio clip. Now, if you do after previous, the airplane is going to fly, and when it's done flying, then the audio is going to play. That's too late. You need to change this start. Instead of after previous, we're going to do with previous. That means it's going to start with the previous one, which is our picture of our airplane. Then he's going to crash into our triangle, okay? And that's this isosceles triangle. So we're going to move that up because that's next. Now when it crashes into that, remember we already did the spinner. It's going to disappear. And it's not going to be on click, it's going to be after previous. So after the airplane and the airplane audio are done, then it's going to disappear. And you can choose the speed, okay? Fast, very fast, it's up to you. Also on the plane, you can go back to your picture 6 and choose how fast or slow you want that to go. On your video clip, or audio clip, you do have other options that you can choose. Like you can delay it, you can rewind it, you can loop it, you can play it only on certain slides. A lot of people, when they do background music for their slides, this is how they insert their audio, and then they'll like stop playing it after the first slide, or they'll hide this icon so it doesn't show. So those are some really good options of making some really good slideshows for school. So when the airplane flies in, it comes off. Now we have to jump up. We're going, ah! So go ahead and go to group, the one that we did. Now it's not going to be on click, it's going to be after previous. After the top blows off, we're going to fly up. And then we're going to be done and decide how fast you want to fly up. Okay? Now you can always test it by hitting this blue button, and it will show you a preview. So a lot of times it's hard to get it right the first time. I probably didn't even get it right the first time, so let's check to see what we got so far. So I hit play, he's flying in, he hits it, he flies up. Now what did I forget? I forgot to exit the airplane. So right when he hits the roof, that airplane needs to disappear. So go ahead and click on the airplane, hit the exit, and we're going to do a fade out. Like he's just going to fade out, or you can zoom out, or you can choose all the effects you want. You be creative. You could probably make it a lot better than I can. So with the exit, that's going to go down, down after the triangle. And again, we're going to go with previous so that when the roof is falling off, the airplane is falling apart as well. Okay? And you can choose how fast you want to do that. And again, you don't have to copy these exact effects. You try to make it better. So now when I play it, the airplane flies in, hits the roof, they both dissolve, and I fly up, and there I am. Okay, so that's how you do the animation part. There we go. You can also record sound. That's the last part we're going to do. Now, if you fly up and a big airplane just crashed into your roof, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to scream. So I'm going to hit record sound, and then what you're going to do is hit record and make sure you have like all your microphones are set up. You can name it like scream, and what you're going to do is go ah, okay? And then after you record it, insert sound of music, put it in here, and then after you've inserted it, do it with previous, put it in the last one and put with previous. So he screams at the same time he's going up in the air. Okay, and then you're done with that part. Yeah, and that's part. Now let's decorate our background a little bit. So notice that it's just our template. That's kind of not good. So we're going to go to Insert, and you're going to go to Shape, and you're going to choose Rectangle, and you're going to take maybe like a third. This is the sky, so you can decide how much sky you want to put in there. Okay, so I'm going to double click that, and I'm going to change that to like a blue color to be more like a sky. If I want a gradient, that could look even more like a sky. You know, so I can hit OK. And so that's my sky with no line color. Okay, and then I need to insert at the bottom here, and the bottom is going to be your grass. So double click that. We're going to do some green grass, and again I can do a gradient to make it look more realistic. So go ahead and do a linear, and I'm going to choose green. Okay, and then I'm going to hit OK. Make sure that wasn't your line like I just did. So color, green, gradients, linear, straight up and down. Color 1 can be this color. If you want to change the second color, just click on this little arrow here, okay? And maybe I'll change that to a different shade of green so that we get some highlights of the green. Okay, so I hit OK. And notice those are in front. And again, there shouldn't be a line. So all I have to do is hold on the shift, select both of them, control click, arrange, send to back, and now notice that it's in the background. It looks kind of like a sky. Okay, and if I want to, I can take like circles, and I can make that, make it white with no line, with a white color. Okay, what you can do is copy and paste, and then you can kind of piece together some clouds here. And then you can also group those if you want as well. So it doesn't look too much like clouds, but use your imagination. I'm sure you could see some clouds. Okay, so that's how you do it. Actually, we are missing a sun, so I am going to put in a sun coming out of the corner right here. And the sun is going to be yellow. There, with no line color. So what I can do is in the bottom left, I can hit Slideshow, and then I can see what it actually looks like. And then when I hit enter, it goes up, it goes down, it goes on, and I'm done. Okay, so we're almost done. Command Shift N, new slide. Now this is going to be like the ending, the last slide. So this is going to be like our reference page. Okay, so first of all, we want to like slide 1. And again, we're going to use our tab. So your ruler should still be open. If not, view ruler, and then go ahead and choose your tab. I'll let you choose the tab that you want. I'm going to choose a center tab. Go ahead, anywhere you want. I'm going to hit 6.5, hit tab. Now, what I'm going to do is slide 1 is actually put slide 1 right here. And here I'm going to put a description, and the description is my title. Okay. Second is family photo, and this is slide 2. And then third is family tree, and that's slide 3. And then fourth was best friends, and we could put that slide 4. And then fifth was home sweet home. Okay, and that is slide 5. Now what you're going to do is we're going to have links. So highlight slide 1. Okay, hit Command K or insert hyperlink. And what we're going to do is instead of web page, it's going to be a document, and we're going to locate the anchor. And the anchor, if you click on slide titles, you can choose slide 1 and then hit OK. And then for your screen tip, you can just leave it and then hit OK. And then notice it works. So go ahead and do that for the rest of them, for slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, and slide 5. And then we're going to hit a home button. If you go to Slideshow and then action buttons, notice you have all these cool action buttons that you can add, like previous slide, next slide, really good. I'm going to click on home. I'm going to put in the bottom left here a home icon, and then this box is going to pop up, and I'm going to go to first slide because that's where my home is. And then I'm going to choose OK. Okay, so in my slideshow, if I click on home, it'll bring me home, and then I'm done with that part. So now that you have your killer good slideshow, let me show you a little bit more about the tools and things you have to work with that I didn't use. So now on the bottom left, notice you have your different views, right? Well, try go to slide sorter view. This is where you can rearrange your slides, okay? If you wanted to see all of them, and you can actually zoom in, and then you can be able to see them and organize them if you have like 100 slides. I remember I had to do a presentation in college, and it was 100 slides, so it does happen. Now, if you want to take notes, so that you're preparing a presentation and you're going to be talking about like your best friends, you want to remember information about them, in the bottom here you can click to add notes, and then you can say, okay, when I talk about David, I want to mention that he could dunk a basketball, you know. And when I talk about Chris, I'm going to say that he worked for a section of DreamWorks and making movie trailers. Like, these are some notes that I can make for myself, so when I'm rehearsing this, I can see these notes when I'm going through it. Now, if you're worried about time, like how much time you should have, don't worry about looking at the clock. Just go up here to Slideshow and just go to Rehearse Timings, and then it'll automatically have a clock for you, like here, a slideshow. And see at the bottom here, it tells you a time, and then I'm like, practice my presentation, my family, da 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 da. And then I talk about these, and then da 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 da, and then I talk about this, and then I talk about that, and I'm done. Okay, and then when you're all done, it says your total time was 19 seconds. And then, would you like to view the slideshow? Yes. Okay, and then yes. Now after you hit yes, yes, it'll show you in the slide sorter view how much time you spent on each slide. So I spent 7 seconds here, 3 seconds here, 4 seconds here. So if you, most of the time, your presentations are too long. And usually when you practice, generally like your actual presentation will be 1/3 longer than what you've practiced. So if you want, oh, I need to cut down, you can notice, hey, I have 7 seconds. That was kind of long. I could cut down in that area. Okay, so that's one way you can do it. Now, if you want to make, if you didn't want to present in front of the class, you could actually record your narrations and of your slideshow, and it would embed the audio into the slideshow. So to do that, I go to Slideshow, record narrations. I choose the microphone, and then you could, if it's going to be a really, really long presentation, you would do link. Otherwise, don't link it. It should be small enough. And you hit record, and then it'll just automatically go through the slideshow, and then you'll narrate it. And then when you're done, you play it back, and then it'll play back exactly how you said it. And then it will even show like when you've clicked it. And so go ahead and try it out right now, and you can see how that works. For record narrations. Very helpful and great way to make like a short movie or something if you want to present something and you don't want to make a video, you could use this. So that's really helpful. Also, it's good to use transitions. So go ahead and add a couple of transitions or one transition, and it's basically transitions from slide to slide. So you can go from like peels top to bottom. Notice that one, it peels. This one goes left to right. So try not to overdo your transitions. Too many crazy transitions will take away from the content of your presentation. So do use those sparingly and make sure they're professional. In tools, make sure you always use your dictionaries for spelling. For formats, you can replace fonts. So let's say I didn't like using this font anymore. I could replace all of that font with like impact font, like replace all of it in my whole slideshow, so I don't have to go back and do that manually. So that's a really good shortcut. What I can also do is, let's see, you can view grayscale. So, and speaking of grayscale, if you're going to be printing your notes, you can go up here to view notes page, and remember I took notes on my friends, so there's the notes right here. See, dunk basketball. So that could be helpful to go over and print. And actually I can go to here and go to file, print, and then I can just hit print. And then you can choose here, print what? I can print my handouts, like 2 per slide, 3 per slide. I can do just my notes, like what you just saw, a picture in the notes. I can do an outline version. So this is really handy. So you don't have to print out like big slides, like 1 per slide of picture. Okay, so very handy to work with. So yeah, those are the main parts of PowerPoint. The more you use the advanced features, the more you'll get comfortable with it, and hopefully you'll have a little bit of fun with your presentation.